rolling vineyards, ancient olive groves, and sun-kissed beaches. Italy, a land of romance, art, and mouth-watering pasta. But beneath the surface, there's a tale of two different nations, a tale that has shaped the very essence of this boot kicking a soccer ball. The top part, where the shin guard would be, is northern Italy. The bottom portion, the heel, is southern Italy. Despite being on the same peninsula, these two regions are like different teammates. Italy, though seems united on the paper map, is vastly different in the northern and southern areas, especially in the financial sector. So what happened that caused such major changes to make Italy look like the two poles of Mercury? This is the question that leaves many scratching their heads. Believe it or not, the South wasn't always the poorer cousin. Around 1000 BC, southern Italy was a thriving economic powerhouse, well known for its fertile land. Its temperate climate and strategic location made it a hub for trade and agriculture. Cities like Palermo buzzed with merchants, while skilled artisans in Naples crafted exquisite goods. This golden age wasn't to last. Roman expansion, fueled by a need for farmland, led to widespread deforestation, gradually diminishing the South's once fertile lands. After the big Roman Empire fell apart in the 500s, Italy became a mess. In the north, things calmed down a bit under Charlemagne's rule, as the whole area of Europe was doing well economically. But down south, it was a total free-for-all. Different groups like the Byzantines, Arabs, and Normans kept taking turns being in charge. The Normans even tried to unite the south for a while under the Kingdom of Sicily, but their system wasn't exactly fair. Imagine a bunch of rich folks hogging all the power, while everyone else was stuck toiling away on farms, growing crops for them. Trade, which used to be a big deal down south, pretty much dried up. This meant there wasn't much of a middle class, which is a group of people with some money to spend. Without a middle class, it's hard for an economy to flourish. These contrasting influences molded the cultural identities of each region. North Italy's flat terrain facilitated the development of big cities and industries, whereas South Italy's predominantly mountainous landscape offered limited flat areas. This geographical disparity left a lasting mark on the economic paths of both regions, steering them in vastly different directions and being a big reason for the differences between the two sides of a coin. In 1861, Italy finally achieved unification as a single kingdom. However, the milestone proved to be a missed opportunity for the South. The new government, centered in Turin, prioritized industrial development in the north, neglecting the South's existing agricultural economy. Land reforms were either poorly implemented or non-existent. The South was further burdened with heavy taxes and the removal of protective tariffs on agricultural goods, leading to a sharp decline in agricultural production. This economic hardship fueled social unrest and uprisings, which were met with brutal suppression. Faced with dwindling opportunities, many residents were forced to make a difficult choice: flee to other countries or migrate to northern Italy in search of a better life. This mass exodus not only worsened the South's economic situation, but also created a brain drain, further hampering its growth potential. The climate of poverty and desperation in the South created a fertile breeding ground for the rise of the mafia. Organizations like the Cosa Nostra and the Camorra exploited the population's distrust of the central government. They positioned themselves as a twisted form of protectors and arbiters of justice, building a shadow government that continues to strangle economic development to this day. Businesses, especially small and medium enterprises, are often unwilling and afraid to invest in regions where extortion by the mafia is a constant threat. Dr. Pino Arlacchi, a leading sociologist and anti-mafia advocate, delivered a grim assessment of the criminal organization's impact on southern Italy's economy during a recent interview. His saying was, "The mafia's influence has been devastating. The mafia squeezes honest businesses with threats and shakedowns, making it almost impossible for the southern businesses to get ahead and grow." In the South, where economic opportunities are already scarce, the mafia creates a climate of fear that discourages entrepreneurship. This fear also discourages large companies from setting up shop, further limiting job creation. In the 1990s, the negative influence of the mafia became tragically apparent. Fiat, a major Italian car manufacturer, maintained a substantial operation in southern Italy, with a key factory located in Melfi. However, the company was recently subjected to extortion demands by the Camorra, the Neapolitan mafia. This relentless pressure created an untenable situation, ultimately forcing Fiat to make the agonizing decision to close the Melfi plant in 2002. The closure resulted in a significant loss of employment opportunities and dealt a severe blow to the already fragile economic climate of the region. Some initiatives were taken that could improve on the worsening fate. One of them was known as Libera Terra, the Free Land Program. This project aims to take back land seized from the mafia and breathe new life into it, creating jobs and proving a powerful message. A future free from mafia clutches is within reach. As all of this was taking place, the world was shaken by World War II. The Italian government tried to jumpstart the South's economy with a program called Cassa per il Mezzogiorno, Fund for the South, aimed at stimulating economic growth in the South through infrastructure investments, education initiatives, and industrial development. Regrettably, this initiative didn't achieve much success. Many of the funds assigned to it were either mishandled, taken by the mafia for their own use, or not used effectively. As a result, the infrastructure in the South is still lacking, and there's a shortage of easily accessible energy resources. Even now, a considerable number of businesses in the South have to pay the mafia for protection, which makes legitimate investment even less appealing. Italy may flaunt an impressive GDP per capita of $35,500, securing a spot among the globe's 30 wealthiest nations in 2021, but the south of the country remains mired in poverty. Southern Italy, previously known as the Mezzogiorno, encompasses regions like Abruzzo, Molise, Basilicata, Apulia, Calabria, Sardinia, and Sicily. Here, the average GDP per capita significantly trails behind the prosperous north. Despite a third of Italy's population residing in the south, their contribution to the nation's overall income falls short, accounting for less than a quarter. In stark contrast, the economic pulse beats strongest in the northern regions. Cities such as Milan, Genoa, and Turin form a thriving industrial triangle dubbed the Triangolo Industriale. Milan shines as a global financial and fashion capital, while Turin boasts a robust automotive industry, and Genoa thrives with its beautiful and prosperous port. The South grapples with ongoing struggles, marked by declining industrial production and a reliance on agriculture as the mainstay despite challenging climate conditions. All this has resulted in vast unfertilized patches in the once well-known fertile place of Earth. This creates a cycle of further brain drain that might last till the end of the world. Without major revolutionary changes, this cycle of decline threatens to persist indefinitely. The situation of the southern subcontinent might somewhat resemble the events that took place in India, constantly being ruled by various empires and finally falling into the hands of unwelcome Britishers due to some lack of unity. The subcontinent, once one of the wealthiest places, was fragmented into pieces that still bear some of the lingering effects of the unjust British invasion. But that's the story for another time. More and more young people in the South are feeling restless with the way things have always been. They're not settling for the usual anymore. Instead, armed with knowledge and bursting with new ideas, they're choosing to pursue higher education and look for innovative opportunities outside the usual paths. Organizations like Sguardi di Sud, Southern Gazes, recognize and empower this burgeoning generation. By fostering entrepreneurship and offering valuable resources, these programs equip Southerners to become active and participants in their region's development. In their hands, fresh ideas can blossom into thriving businesses, propelling the South towards a brighter economic future. Closing the gap between the North and South demands a unified front. The central government needs to prioritize infrastructure development in the South, enhancing transportation systems and easing the flow of goods and people. Additionally, policies that incentivize businesses to invest in the South, coupled with a strong focus on combating corruption, are essential. The North also holds a key piece of the puzzle. Northern businesses can forge partnerships with their Southern counterparts, fostering a valuable exchange of knowledge and creating a win-win situation for both regions. Cultural exchange programs can further dismantle stereotypes and build a stronger sense of national unity. By working together, the North and South can create a more prosperous and unified Italy. An Italy that is unified not only geographically but also in terms of financial and cultural prosperity is a vision that resonates with us all. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like today's video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads.